You're walking down a street. You turn a corner, you see a building, a light, a movement, and suddenly your body freezes. Your breath shortens. Your heart stutters. Your skin tingles with a strange electric recognition. You stop and whisper, "I've been here before," but you haven't. Not in this life. Not in this body. Not in any logical sense. And yet, the feeling is undeniable. A haunting familiarity that logic can't touch. Let's talk about déjà vu. From the French, already seen. It's more than memory. It's more than imagination. It's a glitch in time, in perception, in self. It's the moment when the world feels like a rerun, but you don't remember the episode. Let's talk about what science says. Most theories fall into three camps. Neurological misfiring. The brain's memory centers especially in the temporal lobe can misfire, accidentally duplicating experience, processing, and making the present moment feel like a memory. Delay theory. Information from one eye or ear may be processed milliseconds faster than the other, creating a false impression that it's already happened. Familiarity without source. You've seen something similar, a color, a layout, a voice tone, and your brain tries to match it, failing to find the link, but flagging it as already known. And maybe they're right. Maybe it's just electricity, wires crossing, data scrambling for a second, but maybe it's more than that. Let's go deeper. Let's talk about the memory beneath memory. Trauma leaves scars you don't remember. Your brain records experiences it can't fully process and buries them deep. Like corrupted files, they don't open clearly, but fragments remain. A smell, a sound, a strange pressure behind the eyes. Moments where the world shifts, not because it's repeating, but because something buried just woke up. What if déjà vu isn't a memory of the past? What if it's a memory from below? From the parts of your mind you were never meant to access again? Let's talk about dream-encoded memory. You've dreamed that hallway before. You've seen that face in sleep. You forgot the dream, but the body didn't. The subconscious records everything. Even dreams you never remember. Even fragments from childhood sleep terrors, visions you dismissed, feelings you never could explain. And one day, you step into a room that matches that dream just close enough. And your whole body says, "We've been here," but you don't know why. Let's talk about temporal distortions. The brain doesn't process time like a clock. It processes it like a story, chopped, rearranged, filtered through meaning. When you're in trauma, time freezes. When you're in flow, time vanishes. When you're in grief, time loops. When you're dissociating, time breaks. What if déjà vu is the mind's failed attempt to tell a story it never finished? What if you're not remembering the past, but a version of time your mind wrote without you? Let's talk about generational echoes. Children of trauma survivors often report déjà vu in places they've never been. Memories that don't feel like theirs. Emotions triggered by events that don't match their life. There are no photos, no stories, no context, just an overwhelming sense of having known this pain before. Could memory exist without experience? Could emotion be passed like blood? Let's talk about the paradox of certainty without proof. Déjà vu is maddening because it feels like certainty with no evidence. It's not just, "This looks familiar." It's, "This moment has already happened, and I am powerless to stop it." It's standing in the present and feeling the past reach forward to tap you on the shoulder. Let's pause. You think déjà vu is meaningless, just a glitch, just confusion. But maybe it's not your brain malfunctioning. Maybe it's remembering something you're not supposed to remember. Maybe it's memory from a life you never lived or a life you tried to forget. It happens again. You're talking to someone. You hear their voice say a sentence simple, meaningless, and your stomach turns to ice because you know exactly what they're going to say next. And you know what you're going to say next. And what will happen after that? And it happens. Exactly as you felt it would. And you whisper to yourself again, I've lived this. But you haven't. Not here. Not now. Not in any way that makes sense. So what is this? Let's talk about neural ghosts. Your brain is not a machine. It's an echo chamber. Everything that's ever happened to you, even what you forgot, especially what you forgot, leaves a trace. Smells you can't place. Faces you almost recognize. Words that trigger reactions way too strong for what they mean. You think you're living in the present, but much of your life is a response to something that already happened. Years ago, in a different room, under different light. When you experience déjà vu, you're not just remembering something, you're colliding with a fragment of a life you didn't fully process the first time. Let's talk about trauma as a time distortion. Trauma fractures time. It doesn't stay in the past. It loops. It repeats. It replays through the body, not through logic. That's why a scent can make you panic. Why a voice tone can make you rage. Why a room can feel unsafe before you know why. Your conscious brain tries to keep you linear, but your nervous system remembers in circles. And sometimes it overlaps the past onto the present. Without asking permission, that overlap feels like déjà vu. Let's talk about dream bleed. You don't remember most of your dreams, but your subconscious does. It stores them as soft templates, loose sensory sketches. Then one day, your waking life collides with one. Not perfectly, but enough. And your body says, we dreamed this. And suddenly, you're uncertain. Was it memory? Was it dream? Was it prophecy? Or is there no difference at all? Let's talk about split attention. There are moments you feel like you're not all here. Like you're watching yourself from outside. Like you're running two timelines in parallel. This is not madness. It's dissociation. The body is here. The mind is elsewhere. Or split between now and then, between this life and a shadow version. People who grew up in chaos live like this. Children who had to become invisible live like this. Adults with PTSD or complex trauma live like this. So when the timelines touch, when two realities overlap for a second, you get a flicker, a sensation, this already happened, and no part of you can prove it. But every part of you believes it. Let's talk about pattern recognition as survival. Your brain is always scanning, looking for patterns, trying to predict, trying to keep you safe. But in the process, it sometimes overmatches. A person's expression reminds you of your father. A smell mimics a hospital room. A floor tile matches the one from a moment you were trying to forget. The mind can't place it, but the body locks in. And the whole world shifts slightly, as if time bent for a second to show you a secret. It's not just familiar, it's echoing. And in that echo, you feel trapped, like you're walking through someone else's memory, or your own before you were ready to remember it. Let's talk about how déjà vu becomes a symptom. People with epilepsy report déjà vu before seizures, auras, distortions of time and space, a feeling of falling into a moment they can't escape. People with dissociative disorders report it too, PTSD, OCD, even burnout. It's not always mystical. Sometimes it's neurological overload. Your brain loses its grip on time because your nervous system is overwhelmed. So it throws up a false flag. This has already happened. Because repetition, even false repetition, feels safer than true unpredictability. Let's pause. You think déjà vu is a moment, but maybe it's a message from your nervous system, from your dream life, from your trauma, from the version of you that's still stuck somewhere in the past, waiting for time to make sense again. Déjà vu is a loop, but not all loops are meant to last forever. Some are meant to be broken. and some are begging to be understood. Let's go back to that moment. You step into a place that feels like a dream you forgot. A conversation plays out word for word. A second of stillness echoes with eerie precision. And you think, I've done this before, but you haven't. Not in this life. Not in any life you can recall with your thinking mind. Still, your body knows something. Your body always knows. Let's talk about what the loop really is. It's not a glimpse of another timeline. It's not a time traveler's accident. It's not proof of reincarnation. Not necessarily. What it is a signal that something within you has repeated, a wound, a pattern, a locked moment stuck in time. Deja vu isn't about the place. It's about the state, the version of you that keeps reliving a moment without resolution. Let's talk about psychological loops. You keep choosing people who don't choose you. You keep falling into situations where you're silenced. You keep feeling like the outsider no matter where you are. You tell yourself it's coincidence. You tell yourself it's bad luck. But deep down, you are reliving something, a dynamic, a memory, a role you never asked for, but never stopped playing. That's why deja vu can feel so disorienting, because the loop isn't external, it's internal. Let's talk about emotional timelines. Your mind keeps the calendar, but your soul keeps a clock you can't read. And that clock chimes, not in hours, but in feelings. Fear at the sound of footsteps behind you, panic in a calm room, grief in a place you've never been. Not because anything is happening, but because something once did. And even if you don't remember it, your body does. So when the echo returns, when that same emotional frequency rings through your bones, it feels like returning to something unfinished, something waiting. Let's talk about what deja vu wants from you. Not panic, not confusion, not fascination. It wants you to listen, to ask, what am I repeating? What haven't I let go of? What inside me is frozen in a loop? Maybe it's not about remembering a past life. Maybe it's about finally facing this one. Because deja vu isn't just a neurological flicker. It's a doorway, a glitch where something old tries to re-enter the present. Not to haunt you, but to free you. Let's talk about healing the repetition. You don't break the loop by forcing it to end. You break it by becoming conscious inside it. You name the feeling. You sit with the discomfort. You trace the echo to its source. And you ask yourself, who taught me to live like this? Who left me this pattern? What emotion have I buried so deeply that it had to find another way back? Sometimes deja vu is your mind begging you to feel what you refused to feel the first time. Let's talk about rewriting time from the inside out. Time doesn't move forward in healing. It spirals. Every time the pain resurfaces, you're given another chance to respond differently, to tell the truth, to reclaim your place in the timeline as more than a passenger. You step out of the pattern, not by escaping it, but by walking through it with your eyes open. You look around the moment and say, this time I'm here. This time I'm choosing. This time I remember, but I am not repeating. Let's talk about what comes after the loop. A strange silence, a quiet you didn't know you were missing. Not because the world has changed, but because you're no longer watching it through a distorted mirror. You stop bracing for the repetition. You stop shrinking in the face of the familiar. You feel the deja vu again, but it's different now. It's not a trap. It's a signal that you've passed a marker. You no longer live inside the ghost of someone you used to be. Let's close with this. Deja vu isn't about time. It's about awareness. It's your system remembering what your mind has buried. A moment, a choice, a truth. And when you finally stand still inside that echo and feel it fully, you don't have to repeat it anymore. The loop dissolves. And in its place, you find yourself not in the past, not in a memory, not in a glitch, but fully here.